The crater lake was now highly acidic, much of it was actively boiling or near boiling, and there was a violently degassing 10-meter-high volcanic cone within the center of it. As eruptive activity slowly escalated, some nearby settlements began to start receiving a steady albeit light fall of ash, something that did not occur during the two prior eruptions. The following day, several explosions in order of magnitude larger than the phreatic eruptions thus far, creating a 10,000-foot-high eruption plume, and showering the surroundings with not just minor ash but also some fragments of pumice larger than many of the coins used at the time. These explosions seemingly became larger during the subsequent 3 days, and then on May 5 the first part of the tragedy struck. At 1 p.m. local time on May 5, a portion of tragedy strike the crater rim walls at Pelee's summit failed and broke away, causing what I estimate to be 800,000 tons of hot highly acidic water mixed with ash to sweep down two of its major drainages, combining with material along the way to create a destructive lahar. This lahar eventually overtopped the river banks, going on to flood and wash away the Guéra factory, which was a rum distillery, killing 23 workers near Rivière Blanche. The second lahar segment then swept into La Préchère, flooding it, washing away multiple structures, and resulting in 400 additional fatalities. Later, on May 6, with no crater lake present, an andesite lava dome began to grow. As this lava dome continued to grow the following day, small parts of it were blown out in explosions, and an orange glow became visible from afar. At this point the sensible newspapers did the right thing. Just kidding, they allegedly told everyone that it was completely safe to be in Saint-Pierre, despite the rapidly worsening conditions, and the fact that more than 400 people had already died. Even the local government downplayed the severity of the situation, and as ash continued piling up closer to the volcano, internal refugees from towns closer to Mount Pelee traveled to Saint-Pierre, increasing its population temporarily from 26,000 to 28,000. These people were under the false impression that Saint-Pierre would be safe from any hazards the ongoing eruption could throw at them. They did not know how absurdly wrong that assessment was, despite being more than 4 miles away from the ongoing eruption of Mount Pelee. After a short period of quiet during the night, the sun rose at 5:34 a.m. on May 8, 1902, only to be closely followed by a series of closely spaced explosions from Pelee's summit. These unusually closely spaced blasts indicated the progressive weakening of the plug that had formed in its magma conduit from the sheer volume of molten rock building up in the viscous andesite lava dome. As, unknown to everyone, pressure had been building underneath this lava dome for many hours, and soon, the vast majority of these volatiles would be catastrophically released. The time was now 7:59 a.m. on May 8, 1902, 60 seconds before the main cataclysm would strike Saint-Pierre. In only that amount of time, the deadliest volcanic catastrophe in the entire history of the Northern Hemisphere would strike, wiping out almost the entire 26,000-person population and 2,000 internal refugees there. Part 2 released next week's video will resume this deadly tale, emphasizing how and exactly what happened during Pelee's infamous climactic eruption at 8 a.m. local time on May 8, 1902. So, stay tuned for Part 2, which I plan to publish next Saturday at 11 a.m. local time in Phoenix, Arizona on May 24. Once that video goes live, you will be able to find it linked here and in the video description. As a final note, I would like to thank this channel's patrons on Patreon and channel members on YouTube for helping to